Hello and welcome to Weather 3. My name's Jeff, I'm glad you're here. Let's just jump right in. This is the third video in this series. We're gonna get the AM and PM temperatures by day, as if from thin air. It's like magic. Let's head to the first exercise, exercise 1. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna get the actual weather forecast URL. So let's copy this URL and let's go to data from web. And let's paste that URL and click OK. And this opens the Power Query editor. First of all, let's change the name of this query to forecast URL. And what we want to do is we want to open these results as a JSON. We want to click into the properties record. We want to right click on the forecast URL and select drill down. Perfect. And I'm just going to copy this for now. Let's go back to this source step and let's replace this entire static URL with the weather URL. And this is simply that combined weather URL that was in the workbook coming through Power Query. And enter. Now I hit the formula firewall. No worries. We just go to File, Options and Settings, Query Options. Then under Current Workbook, we click Privacy, and we click Ignore. And that just ignores the privacy levels for this specific workbook. And we click OK. And now let's refresh Preview. That looks better. That looks good. And let's close and load to. And we'll send it to Connection Only Query and click OK. So before we go to the next exercise, let's review. You type any city and state. The geography data type retrieves the updated latitude and longitude. The concat function combines those latitude and longitude values with the base URL. Then this goes into Power Query to retrieve the forecast URL. And when we call the forecast URL in the next exercise, that's going to retrieve our actual forecast. So let's go to the next exercise, exercise 2. Here we want to use that forecast URL to retrieve the forecast. We go to Data from Web. Let's paste in that forecast URL and we're going to replace that with the dynamic version in a few moments. Click OK. All right, and we want to open this as a JSON. We want to navigate to the properties record. We want to click the periods list. We want to convert this to a table. We want to click OK. We want to click the expand, uncheck use original columns and click OK. Boom, there's our forecast. Now we want one column for each day, and we want one row for AM and PM. So we're going to remove all of the other columns first. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to hold Control and select that. We're going to use this IsDaytime in a little bit. We want to keep the temperature. We don't need that. We don't need this, or this. We don't need this, or this. Or this. Remove columns. Perfect. Now what we want to do is we want to select the start time, click Transform, Date, and Parse. Perfect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to convert this IsDaytime to AM PM. So to do that, I'm going to add a column, and I'm going to do a conditional column. And I'm going to call this column AM PM. And I'm going to say if IsDaytime equals true and Power Query is case sensitive, then I want it to say AM. Otherwise, I want it to say PM. And then I'm going to click OK. All right, great. Now I can delete IsDaytime. Perfect. Now what I want to do is I want to pivot on this start time column. And if you're used to working with pivot tables, what this is kind of like is setting this into the columns layout area. In other words, it's going to look through the values and it's going to create one unique column for every unique value in the start time column. And for rows, it's going to use AM PM. And for values, it's going to use temperature. So if you're used to working with pivot tables, basically this goes in the columns layout area, this goes in the rows layout area, and this goes in the values layout area. So let's select start time. Let's go to transform, pivot column. So start time is going to go in columns. For values, we want temperature. And for advanced options, we want don't aggregate. And then we want to click OK. And there we go. Now we have AM, PM, and we have one column for every day. And then we have the temperatures in each of those columns. Perfect. Now let's go to Home, close and load to. And we want to send this to a table in an existing worksheet and click OK. Awesome. Now let's close this. Now to make this even easier to read, let's add a little chart. And we'll do that in the next exercise, exercise 3. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use a chart type called a sparkline, and it's a teeny tiny little chart that fits into a single cell, and it's perfect for something like this. So what I'll do is I'll add a new column at the end called sparkline. And I'm going to select these cells, and I'm going to go to Insert, and under Sparklines, you can pick any one you want. I like line. And then it's going to ask, where's the data? So we just select this data range, and then we click OK. And there's our little sparkline. Cute, right? I know. And then I want to have a high point and a low point, and I actually want to move these over to the beginning. So I'm going to select the column header. I'm going to hover over the bottom cell border. I'm going to click and drag and release. And maybe I'll go all the way over to the left. There we go. So this is looking really good, but now we need to make it use that dynamic URL. So let's go edit the query. A couple different ways to do that. Here I'm just going to right click any cell within the table. I'm going to go to Table, and I'm going to go to Edit Query. This will open the Power Query Editor. Now, we just go to the source step, and we take out this static URL, and we replace it with the URL that came in from our previous query, called forecast URL. So I just type in forecast URL, and hit Enter. Perfect. And now I can close and load. Perfect. So let's review here. You enter a city-state. The geography data type gets the latitude and longitude. That is combined into a URL that goes into Power Query. Power Query uses this dynamic URL to retrieve the forecast URL. And then Power Query uses that forecast URL to retrieve the actual forecast. We do some transformations and we get into some daily columns. So let's test it out. Let's try Fairbanks, Alaska. Enter. The geography data type just got the new latitude and longitude values. It flows into this combined URL. Let's cruise over here, and this looks like they're currently in about the 50s and 40s. Now let's just click Refresh All. Boom. And now it's done. It's done. That's so awesome. So anytime we want a new forecast, we just click Refresh All. Anytime we want to get a new forecast for a different area, we just update the area in our geography data type and click Refresh All. That is beautiful. And I'm not sure if you're into weather or not, but even if you're not, I hope that the Power Query stuff we talked about is going to be helpful. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great day. Hey Excel user, if you ever need to create summary reports, check out my Pivot Table for Beginners video. It starts at the beginning and shows how to store the data transactions in a table and then how to summarize those transactions with a pivot table report. I hope it helps unlock the incredible power of pivot tables.
This video is a production of Excel University.